family, how y'all doing? It is your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Cafe. Day of Pottery, where I'm always serving you wisdom, knowledge, and spiritual awareness. Big ups to everybody. I appreciate y'all so much for still being a part of my movement, still being faithful subscribers, still being supportive. Again, I appreciate all my A1s from day one. Those of you who have recently subscribed, I welcome you to the family. If this is your first time ever hearing any of my content for the first time ever, and you like what you hear, please make sure you like, you share, subscribe, because you know as struggle streamers that aren't over 100,000 subscribers, you know we need as much support as we could possibly get so our channel can continue to grow and flourish. So nevertheless, I know it's been a while. I uploaded that I was going to do this content in my community tab a couple of weeks back, and I never got around to it. So I thought it was very imperative, while I had some downtime, that I go ahead and upload this content for those of you who have been waiting patiently. So again, I thank y'all. So I thought it was very imperative that I talked about this when a woman is forced to love to clean up high value man. And just speaking from personal experience, I have encountered many women who have put themselves in unpleasant situations. In many cases, most of these unpleasant situations come from the fact that we as women, we don't always make good decisions, especially when we lack the maturity and when we lack the finances, and most importantly, when we lack the wisdom. We are most likely to make poor decisions, and a lot of the decisions that women tend to make in many cases is based on their season in life. Whether that season is if she's in desperation of her biological clock ticking and she wants to hurry up and produce a family, or she feels as if she's been with this man for a very long time and there's been no progress, so she feels the only way she can try to move the relationship to the next level, she has to get pregnant from him. It's different levels of desperations that women will basically push themselves to in the event they feel like things aren't happening the way that they want it to happen, especially when it comes to trying to develop a relationship. So what tends to happen with a lot of us as women, especially during our youth, and this is one of the most critical times, most of the most critical periods in our lives as women, when we are in our youth, meaning we have not reached that level of womanhood, but we're no longer a child. We're slowly transitioning. Like you could be 14, 15, you're not 18, but you're not under the age of 13. So you're in that middle period in which you're still trying to find yourself as a woman. You're still developing mentally and developing emotionally. So this is one of the most critical stages in our lives. And the unfortunate part is there are so many of us as Black women, we're making a lot of the most worst decisions during our youth. When you're young, you're dumb, meaning you have not fully transitioned into a woman. You don't have the wisdom, you don't have the maturity, so you don't know what to look for in a man. Because let's be honest, ladies, when you're young and dumb, you really don't know how to prioritize the correct priorities when it comes to seeking a man, seeking a companion. You don't know how to prioritize, meaning you don't have the maturity to understand what you should look for in a man. In other words, if you're 13, 15, 16, and you have not transitioned fully into womanhood, you're still living with your parents, you're still going to school, you're still trying to learn yourself, you're still in that youth, in that stage of being a young woman, so you still don't really have all of the tools you need in order to make the best decisions when it comes to selecting soulmate, when it comes to choosing the father of your child. We tend to go on things that are not a priority. For instance, we go on how a man looks. Let's face it, at that age, you're too busy looking at how fine a man looks. You want the light-skinned baby daddy because you want your baby to have pretty curly hair, or you want your baby to have that fair skin complexion. You don't want your baby to be too dark, or you're going after this man because he has money, because he's a star, because he's famous, or whatever. You're not looking at what he is as a man and what he could actually offer or bring to the table as a father for your child. You're going on what he is. You're going off his status because he's a rapper, he's an athlete, he's a CEO producer. And let's just be frank. Just because a man holds a certain type of status in the industry, it does not mean that he's going to be father material. No different than a female who may hold a certain type of status in the industry. It doesn't mean she's going to be good mother material or good wife material. So status, this high value thing that a lot of people have been throwing around, been passing around like a collection plate in the Christian Baptist Methodist Church, we keep slinging around this word, not understanding that high value does not define anything about the value. It has everything to do with his monetary gain, which does not mean that he's going to be credible as far as a father for your child, as far as a companion. And same thing with women. So nevertheless, when you are young and dumb, this is the worst time to make the decisions as far as selecting a man, because you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what to look for. You don't know how to prioritize the qualities of what is considered a good man, because you're looking at what a man has to offer based off of his physical attributes, based off of his status. Why do you think you got all these young women? Most of them are not even 20 or barely reaching their 20s. A lot of them are getting knocked up by these rappers, these athletes, guys that are known to be industry fuckboys, but because they got money and they got status. You got all of these women that are standing in line, can't wait to get pregnant. They got their turkey basters, and they're ready to get it in. They waiting for this dude to slip. In many cases now, some of these dudes are making it so easy for them where women don't have to really go as far as they used to get pregnant by men anymore. A lot of these men are not considering their penis as prized possessions, not understanding that their penis dictates what type of relationship they're going to have with the child, what type of future they're going to have with the child. Because if you impregnate the wrong woman, if you impregnate a woman that's only after your money, only after what you can contribute, it can very well impact and make a significant difference as to what kind of relationship you'll have with your son or your daughter. Because a lot of these women are being programmed and trained to secure the bag. And unfortunately, men are making it easy. It's a lot of women. We're catching heat, not taking accountability. We're being told we don't take accountability. We're being told that we're not being responsible, but at the same time, these females aren't getting pregnant by themselves. You got these Nick Cannons out here. You have these rappers like Future out here. You have all of these men who are giving away dick for free. They're passing it out like bus transfer passes. So these women aren't getting knocked up by themselves. There are men who are willing to go raw with these women, give them babies, and then will turn around and try to make the woman look like she's the villain, but at the same time, he didn't protect himself. But we're not going to do the blame game, because a lot of these black sector spaces, that is all that they do. You got the black male content creators, they're putting all the heat on black women, saying black women ain't taking accountability, or you have the black female content creators that's putting all the heat on the men, when the point of the matter is the black community is the most overly sexualized community. Nobody wants to get on birth control. Nobody wants to protect their penis. This is the type of society we are living in. And this is the reason why we have all the problems that we have. But I will say this, and I've always said this. I will say that if a woman does get pregnant, that 90%, I put it this way, 80% of it is her fault. The other 20 is the man's. And the reason why I will always hold the women more accountable, because the women, at the end of the day, we have the power. We control our womb. You get to dictate who's going to be the father of your child. You have every right to choose the right man to bear a child with. So if you're going around here being a groupie, you raw dogging rappers that have already a fuck boy reputation, and then you want to cry victim, go on social media, go on Twitter, go on Instagram, posting these long drawn out posts about deadbeat fathers, but at the same time, you also had a motive. And this is the only thing that gets me about females. Females will play the victim when they get knocked up from these dudes, and these dudes don't step up, these dudes don't do their part, and these women will play the victim. They will act like they don't understand why these men are deadbeats, when the initial intention, you really didn't care. You was looking at his money. You was looking at his status. You was looking at, his celebrity, his celebrity status. That's what you were focused on. So you didn't care at that point in time if he was going to be certified father material. But now that he's giving you these checks every month because he's this big time rapper, he's this big time athlete or whatever, you're getting the checks, but you're seeing that is all you're getting. It's just the checks. He's not present. He does not have time to come around and be an active parent. Sometimes you get more than what you bargained for, and in some cases you get less than what you bargained for. So women, you have to be careful when you go out here and you maliciously have sex with these men unprotected, thinking you're going to secure the bag. You may secure the bag, but that don't mean you're going to secure the dad. Okay, you may get the money, but that don't mean you're going to get the man. You may get the dollar, but that don't mean you're going to get the father. So you have to be very careful and look further than just what's past the moment. Look further than just the fact that you're going to be getting direct deposits in your checking account once a month. Every time your child has a special event in his life, whether if it's his first basketball game, if it's his first, your daughter having her first ballerina recital, keep in mind, because you were looking to secure the bag instead of securing the dad, keep in mind, you may be putting yourself in a position in which your child is getting cheated, because you have some men, they don't have a problem with coming out the pockets, but they don't want to be involved, and that's the part you got to be prepared for. So nevertheless, let's get into the steak and potatoes. Let's get into what's going on at hand. All right, as I indicated before in this content earlier, when I say to how a lot of us as grown women, we are suffering for the choices we made during our youth, becoming mothers at a young age before we even got out of our parents' house, before we even got our high school diploma or GED, before we even really understood what the concept of being a woman is, the concept of what life is all about. We have made grown woman decisions with a little girl mindset, and that's come back to haunt us. So many women that have done this have found out the hard way. They have basically received a harsh reality check. And what a lot of young women are finding out is that being that they have made decisions in their youth, most of those decisions were not wise decisions. So what ended up happening is that you have these young women who have put way more baggage on themselves than what they could afford to handle. When these young women find their lives at a standstill and realize they have put themselves in a position in which their future has pretty much come to a halt, and they are experiencing the misery of being a single mother, they're experiencing the struggles, they're experiencing the hardships. At some point in time, they feel the only way they will be able to recover is if in the event they encounter a high value cleanup man. Basically, and I don't mean high value as far as the fact that he has to be top notch, like a lawyer, a doctor, but a man that's basically in a position in which he can take her out of her misery, and which he can basically rescue her from her hardships. And when I say hardships, it's not just financially. Financially is the number one hardship. But the other hardships is the emotional hardship. The fact that her baby daddy abandoned her, left her, or the fact that mentally she's realizing all of the burden, all of the stress that's coming along with the responsibilities of being a single parent, all of these different type of burdens, whether if it's emotional, financial, physical, it takes a toll. And if she's able to get in a position in which there is a man that's willing to step up and pick up where the last dude left off, he's willing to uh be the sacrificial lamb, even if he doesn't have children of his own. Even if he is in a position in which he can choose a woman that doesn't have near as much baggage as he has, that doesn't have near as much as responsibilities. If she's able to encounter this type of man, she's going to do whatever she can to win him over. And I've done a content on this before, about what single mothers will do to win a man over, the strategies, the tactics, the methods in which they know how to make men feel comfortable enough to the point to where they feel like, this may be a woman that's worth me investing into. These single mothers, y'all can badmouth them, degrade them, or put them down, but a lot of these women have found the recipe to a lot of these, simple guys, to weak guys, to square dudes, to nice guys, to janitors, to cleanup guys. They know that if they can provide the cleanup man with something he has never received from other women before, even if he is of high status, even if he is of high caliber, with Russell Wilson, Ciara was able to provide something to him that he never ever experienced with other women. Now, if my memory serves me correctly, his fiance was a white woman, okay? And I don't know a whole lot about the situation, but Russell did not seem as in love or as infatuated with his fiance compared to Ciara. When he was with his fiance, he was kind of low key. He wasn't all over the place, but being once he got with Ciara, he's become a different guy. He's out in these environments in which you never really seen him at. She's taking him to hood parties, to hood gatherings and stuff, and she's definitely taking him out of his element. And of course, a lot of the guys have been having an issue with it, saying he's simping. He decided to be the cleanup man for one of future baby mamas. Russell has gotten a lot of flack, being a high value janitor. The high value janitor, cleaning up, and willing to pick up the pace, pick up where the last man left off. He's willing to do that. He didn't have a problem accepting Ciara's son in open arms, even though he didn't have a child of his own. But Ciara was smart enough to know, and like a lot of these single mothers, she knew she was going to have to really sell herself to get Russell interested in her. So, besides the fact that she's a very beautiful, stunning woman, she probably knew how to sexually do things in the bedroom that he probably didn't experience with Becky. So we know Ciara is, especially sexually, she may have that she may have that extra sauce. And if he's a lame square dude, like a lot of the guys claim for him to be, Ciara probably really put it on him. Really put it on him. And a lot of these single mothers, they are wise at that. They know how to play the game. They know how to basically root out the square. They know how to root out the simple dude and know that she can get away with basically, breaking them off with kibbles and bits. Whether those kibbles and bits is cooking him a hot plate of food, and if he's never had a woman cook for him, knowing how to please him sexually, if he's never experienced that with other women, because he didn't have that confidence to get those type of women to even be drawn to him. You have women that, especially the ones that have pretty much tarnished themselves by picking up the wrong baby daddies, picking up the wrong type of dudes. They know they have to do things to really sell themselves. They got to really put themselves out there. They have to try to prove to the high value janitor that she's worth him investing in. So if she has to produce things that he's not used to getting, she has to sexually please him in ways he's never been pleased. She has that extra umph. She knows how to bring that, swag out of him. She knows how to make him feel confident. A lot of these a lot of these some of these single moms that are in the trenches, that are down on their luck, that have to go back out there and try to date and things of that nature, and try to pick up another man so she don't have to deal with the fact that she made a very poor decision by selecting the wrong man to produce a child to begin with. A lot of these women, they know they have to step their game up, and one thing about a woman that's down on her luck, she has no problem building a man up on his. A woman that is down on her luck will do any and everything she can to stroke a dude's ego. And if he's a square dude, he's not used to dealing with a woman that has that special sauce, that has that special flavor, he could easily get turned out. He could easily get won over. And this tends to happen. So what happens in many cases, these type of females, they end up basically selecting dudes they normally would not choose had they been sitting in a better situation. Most of the time, the guys that they end up opting out or choosing are dudes they normally would not choose. And what tends to happen is some of these men, some of these squares, they can easily attract a woman when she's going through her struggle season. Now, struggle season struggles doesn't always mean money, okay? I don't want y'all always thinking money, 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 money. That's number one on the list. But struggling with being loved. She's struggling with finding a man that will tolerate her BS. Struggling with finding a man that's going to be the step-up stepdad. When a lot of these women encounter a man during a struggle season, this is their moment, and they know they only got one shot to try to really, wean and this is their only moment to will these type of dudes in, especially if the high value janitor man is showing some interest. Ciara knew she had to grab Russell while Russell's interest was there. Now, we're not sure if Russell was attracted to Ciara because just the fact that she's a beautiful woman, or the fact that she brings out that swag in him that Becky wasn't able to bring out. Let's face it, some of these guys who flip-flop, that'll go from, I don't know what it is. It seems like some of these brothers, when they go from a black woman to a Becky, then when they go from a Shanita to a Brenda to a Becky, they tend to act a little corny. We've seen Kanye act very corny, act very docile. He's acting very weak, ever since his divorce with Kim Kardashian. But ironically, when he was with these other black women, the Victoria's Secret model and Amber and all of that, he acted like he had swag. He acted like he was alpha. He had this alpha vibe. He acted more masculine. I've noticed that when some of these black men, when they flip-flop, when they go from Brenda to Becky, they tend to kind of, they act very docile. They act very weak. And I'm not saying this is the case with everybody. This is just my general observation. Some men will never lose their masculinity regardless of what. But in most cases, a lot of these guys, they get soft when they get with Becky. And in other cases, like with Russell, he went from Becky to Brenda. Now he's all swagged out. I mean, when he was with Becky, he used to wear his little curly hair. Now he wears his hair low. He cuts his hair low. He's acting like he has a little bit more masculinity compared to his masculinity when he was with the Caucasian woman. Now, a lot of men don't see it this way. They feel like he's gotten even more soft when he has, decided to be the high value janitor man for Ciara. And that's true in some cases also. So I also agree with that. But what tends to happen when you have these Ciaras, women who did not make the best of choice. And again, just because a woman is successful, it does not mean she's exempt from making poor choices. I hate when people always want to use money as a cop out, as a reason to justify somebody making a Section 8 decision. No different than you have a lot of people up here who are paying homage to Rihanna getting pregnant from ASAP. And even though he's a millionaire, his millions don't touch her millions. You know, that's basically like a woman that's an attorney, and she's picking up a dude that has his own he's a manager of Chick-fil-A. I mean, he's making good money. He's not poor, he's not broke, but he's just not on her level, you know. And a lot of people want to say, well, Rihanna has her own money, he has his own money. She still made a better male decision. He's not nowhere on her income bracket. His net worth is less than hers. Now they both in the millions, and again, you cannot go by net worth, okay? That is how much a person is worth. Even Lil Wayne said a lot of people go by his income based on his net worth, but that don't mean that's really what he's getting. Now his net worth, he really don't get what he's entitled to, okay? So y'all can go Google up how much these artists and athletes, that don't mean they're really getting that. To much is given, much is required. You're not going to be worth all these millions and you think you're going to get every dime that you work for. No, stuff got to be paid out. You got to pay people to keep your brand alive, to keep your music going, to keep you involved, and keeping your contracts with the NFL and the NBA. You got these agents and stuff. People is getting paid off of your network. Okay. So I'm so tired of black people when we can't win an argument, or we want to justify somebody who made a low income decision. Well, she's millionaire. She got money. Yeah, well, why her and ASAP didn't get married? Why did she settle to just be a baby mama? You know what I mean? Why did she choose a guy on his level? You know what I mean? He's a discount Dusty. And I'm tired of people thinking because somebody's a millionaire or a billionaire. I'll say it even with my 5-bedroom triple wide trailer. You can be a billionaire and still be Dusty. Okay? You could be a billionaire and still be a bum bitch. Your millions do not exempt you from being dust or being a below the barrel broad. It does not exempt you from that. Money does not buy intelligence, and money does not buy common sense. Okay. I know plenty of millionaires, okay, who have made very poor decisions. If being a millionaire saw all of that, then a lot of them wouldn't be committing suicide and killing themselves. So success does not make you a smart person, and success does not make you happy. Okay? If that's the case, millionaires and billionaires wouldn't be committing suicide or scheming or scamming others to get more billions when they're already getting billions. Okay? Money just makes you more of what you are. If you a dummy when you broke, you're going to be even more dumb when you a millionaire. All right? If you arrogant and nasty and snooty when you broke, you're going to be a nasty, snooty, arrogant millionaire. Being a millionaire just enhances more of your poor qualities. Okay? If you are a whore while you broke, you're going to be even more whorish with millions. Okay? So stop using being a millionaire or a billionaire. Well, he making more money, he getting plenty of money, or she making more money than anybody. She got a bigger house. What the hell I got to do with the fact that she still made a bum bitch decision? And I'm gonna stand on it. Rihanna, she downgraded. She leveled down. And any man who picks up a woman that has not been with him from the struggle, and she has nothing to offer but her looks, and she's good eye candy, but she can't contribute anything, then he leveled down. As simple as that. He can't bring this woman with him when he's doing business meetings and conferences because she has the IQ of a goddamn preschooler. He's embarrassed to take her around highly intellectual company because she may say something dumb. But she looks beautiful as far as having his children from. and that's all she could offer. It's her womb and her vagina. That's pretty much it. Anyway, I know I'm getting off a topic. When a woman is forced to love the cleanup value man, the high value janitor, it's because she knows she has exhausted all of her sources. Many women get to this place because now they know they have made detrimental decisions that have caused them to end up in a position they're in. Like many women, like Ciara saw herself sinking. Ciara, a lot of people don't know this, but Ciara was really, really in love with Future. She was in love with Future. If you look at a lot of her old pictures, if you go through her Google and you look at a lot of pictures that she took with Future, Ciara was infatuated. She was in love with Future. In fact, she was so in love, she didn't have children at that time. Future already was a baby daddy to 4 or 5 women around that current time. I think he has like 6 or 7 now. I know he has one from Bow Wow, Baby Mama 2, and all this carrying on. I don't know. So many dudes out here like Nick Cannon, they just raw dogging and, having multiple children for multiple women, creating all these single mothers, and yet, these guys are giving him, all these men are giving them, homage, for being, sperm donors, basically. And I'm not saying that they're not real fathers, but I just don't think it's smart for successful men to go around, bearing fruit with multiple women. You know what I mean? I just don't think a man who has any worth or value in himself is going to spread his seed around like COVID. Not to say that you have to be married, but at the same time, if you're going to do that, let it be all from the same woman. You got all these different women, all these different personalities. This one over here hating and jealous because you spending more time with this baby mom. I mean, you have a lot of dudes that just put themselves in unpleasant situations, and they wonder why life is so difficult for them. Because you're putting more on strain on yourself than what you need. You know what I mean? So anyway, Ciara was in love with Future. And I remember when she went on The View and she was telling Whoopi Goldberg, who's on the show at the time, that her and Future was engaged to be married. And quickly, I remember Whoopi Goldberg gave her the side eye. A lot of people was kind of making some fun about it around the time. Like, girl, really? Okay, if that's what you say, with your baby daddy, with your fiance who got 8, 9, baby mamas or however many he had at that time. She was so sure of him. And what happened was when Future flaked out on her, she saw there was no future with Future. Ciara jumped ship. Now, many women in this case, either they jump ship when they see that the man that they really desired basically fumbled and dropped the ball and did not come through, or in many cases, if he didn't fumble, he was close to fumbling, he already has. It was one or the other. When a woman sees that her plan is failing, especially when she intentionally had a child, and now the baby daddy is not complying, he doesn't seem to be fulfilling that dream that she had hoped. Maybe she thought getting pregnant from him, okay, he's gonna marry me. He did not do that. Maybe she felt getting pregnant, okay, he's gonna commit to me. He didn't do that. Once some women put themselves in a struggle situation and they get lucky and encounter a high value janitor man that's willing to sweep them off their feet and put on that cape and rescue them, they are going to jump on that bandwagon. Even if it's a man they really don't desire like that, if it's a man they normally wouldn't even be interested in, just the fact that he's willing, the high value janitor man is willing to come in and save her. What is she going to do? She's going to jump on that ship. She's not going to stay stranded on the dusty island of Dusties. Here it is, a man that's a millionaire, has money, Even if he seems like a lame, even if he seems like, a square dude, even if he's not that attractive, even if he's not that adventurous and fun, and even if she's not in love with him, she's going to accept him just on the strength that he's willing to accept her in her struggle season, in her struggle dust season. When these women encounter struggle dust season, they look for anybody. And if he's someone that has a little something, even if it's 2% more than what she got, than what she was able to get from the baby daddy, and vice versa, she gonna jump on it. And that's what Ciara did. Now, the only difference is, Russell Wilson, he did choose her. Evidently, he didn't mind that she had a child from a high value dust. He didn't have a problem with that, because Future does have the money, but at the same time, he's still a dust. He has multiple children with multiple women. That certifies him as dust. Say what you want to say, but that's how I feel about it. Nevertheless, Ciara accepted. She accepted that invitation from Russell, being that Russell showed and demonstrated that he was willing to accept all of Future's baggage. And I don't mean just her son. Future's baggage, meaning whatever emotional turmoil he left on Ciara, whatever mental toll he left, whatever Future left behind, he did not mind stepping in, stepping up, and taking onto that baggage. And it's a lot of men who do it. That's why I'm like bewildered when I see how a lot of these guys try to front on social media like they don't even rock with women like that. They don't want a woman who has other men's children. They don't want to, have to step up and take care of families that's already been established before they could have a child of their own. But depending on what type of woman she is, and if she knows how to run her game right during her struggle season, she can pull him. She realized she wasn't going to get anywhere with Future. And here it is, the high value janitor. He stepped right on in. He even told her, he said, look, you don't even have to get his child support. You don't have to get anything from him. I'm just going to take over. I'm going to be all a man that you never could get him to be. Any woman that's in her struggle season, this is music to her ears. When a man lets her know, I don't care nothing about what you did wrong. I don't care how you failed. I don't care that you chose a dust dude, to produce the father of your child. I'm going to put on my Captain Save 'em cape, and I'm going to deliver you and ride you off into the sunset and be everything that you thought he was going to be. So what tends to happen is, even if a woman does not initially have feelings for the high value janitor man, if she initially doesn't have feelings, if she's initially not interested, if she's initially not feeling him, the fact that he has demonstrated that he's going to do everything that she couldn't get the dusty dude who she desired to be, she's going to learn to love him and care for him on the strength of that. Now, is that cool? I absolutely don't think it is, because a lot of times when you're a woman that's going through a struggle season, sometimes you can jade yourself into falling for a man, not because of him, but the fact that he rescued you. He's playing a part in saving you from your own struggle. Sometimes as women, we can be more in love with the fact that a man is helping us versus then just generally and authentically just being in love with them for the fact that they are just being them. So a lot of times, a lot of women will not admit this, but during the struggle season, a man comes and rescue you. He steps into your life. He He's there for your children. He helps you with your bills. He helps you with your finances, especially when the last dusty dude left you, in high and dry. He left you down, bowed down, left you with nothing, and this man just magically comes into your life without you not having really to make an effort, and he volunteers his services to help you, to deliver you out of your sunken dust place. Hair is every woman's crown and glory. So women have invested in hundreds all over the world trying to find the perfect hair oil to suit their needs. There are so many types of hair oils in the beauty supply industry that it makes it pretty difficult to choose which hair oil is right for you. Well, look no further. Rejuvenate is here. Some of these oils are watered down with other oils such as canola oil and soybean oil, which takes away the purity of the natural oils. Many hair oil companies do this so they can stretch the product of the oil to fit more in the bottle, making it appear as if you are getting a lot for your money's worth, but you are actually getting more artificial oil. So beware of oils that don't say 100% oil in the ingredients. Rejuvenate does exactly what it means. It rejuvenates the roots, revitalizing dead hair follicles, bringing roots back to life. Many women are suffering from alopecia, and others are experiencing breakage that's causing excessive shedding. Unlike most hair oils that usually only consist of 4 or less types of oils, each bottle of Rejuvenate consists of 18 herbs. No artificial oils have been added to stretch the product. Some of these oils include black rice oil, red pimento, mango seed, papaya, rosemary, hemp seed, sweet almond oil, black castor oil, aloe vera, peppermint, lavender, avocado oil, nettle extract, ginkgo extract, clove hair oil, flaxseed oil, shea powder, and so much more. Yes, these 2-ounce bottles have 18 different herbs, all 100% oils. Each purchase will come with a mini pamphlet explaining the purpose of each unique herb. All other herbs are special ingredients and cannot be disclosed for copyright purposes. Keep in mind that some of you may have certain things that you may be allergic to that your scalp may not necessarily agree with, which may cause an allergic reaction. So please consult with your physician before utilizing the product, and I further recommend a skin patch test before applying oil throughout the entire scalp or skin. This oil can be used as a hot oil treatment or for everyday use. Oil should not have to be applied no more than 2 to 3 times per week. Men that are also experiencing hair loss or hair breakage can also benefit from Rejuvenate's hair follicle stimulator oil. Each batch of oil takes up to 3 weeks to ferment before it is actually shipped off to customers. Rejuvenate is $8 per bottle, or you can purchase up to 2 bottles for up to $14. This is a limited time offer, so you will get $2 off purchasing 2 bottles. This does not include shipping and handling fees. You have up to 5 days to return product and up to 15 days to request refund in the event there's an issue with the product on the order. Unlike other oils, Rejuvenate is homemade. I specifically take my time and prepare each batch custom made before shipping to customer. Order your bottle of Rejuvenate so you can bring your roots back to life. All information of where to purchase will be included below. Thank you for your support. The harsh reality is that you may be more in love with him because of how he rescued you versus him for who he genuinely is. And I really think that is the case, with a lot of these women out here that have put themselves in these type of situations. Again, when we make bad decisions, our way of escaping the accountability is in hopes of finding someone that's going to step right in and help us to correct the decisions that we made. And if there's a man that's willing to do that, regardless of, I may not be attracted to him, I may not feel like he's my ideal companion, but just the fact that he is willing to step into my situation that he did not create and help repair the damage that I have done, the chaos that I have created, the fact that he's willing to take the initiative to be the cleanup man, to be that janitor, and help me fix this chaos by helping me to, take care of these responsibilities. I'm not going to turn that down. There's not too many women that are going to turn that down. And I don't say this um, in a manner of being proud. I don't say this to sound honorary, but a lot of these men out here, you need to know what your place is. You need to know if this woman genuinely loves you for you, really cares about you for you, or is she more so in love with the fact that you stepped up when nobody else didn't? And in these many instances, this is why you have women who force themselves to love the high value man. It's not so much him, it's basically what he has done, how he has contributed. And usually that is what make a lot of these women, you know, find love. This is the scenario in which women um will find themselves in love with a man, not because of who he is, but because of what he has offered and how he has saved her from her struggle season. Now, with Ciara, I'm sure she genuinely loves Russell, but I do strongly believe also that she had to force herself to love him in a sense, because just because a man has failed you, even though Future has failed her, you're not going to turn your feelings off. Women, our emotions don't operate like a faucet. You can't just turn them on and turn them off. I strongly believe that when Russell, like many of these, Captain Savums or whatever you want to call it, the simp savers, whatever you want to call them, I strongly believe that she fell for him even harder because she was going through a struggle season. It's pretty much like a homeless person, to give you a scenario, an analogy. It's like a homeless person, who's living in the streets, out in the cold, is every bit below 5 degrees, freezing cold, has no food, has no place to go. And here is a family who's fortunate and well off decides to take in this homeless person, give them a decent place to stay where there's hot water, where there's hot food, where they're not living in the street under, in cold climate, in unfit conditions. And they bring him into an environment in which, the place is more adequate. He's getting heat, he's getting water, getting food. He will be more grateful with the fact that they took him or removed him out of a struggle element in which he was suffering, in which he was being deprived of the basics. So he will be more grateful based on the notion that these people took him from nothing versus the people for who they really are. You know what I mean? So you take this homeless guy off the street, and a homeless, and that's probably a better way of me putting it. A homeless guy on the street, a woman that's well off, and she invites him and moves him in her home. He'll be more in love with her based on the strength that she took him out of his struggle than actually being in love with her. That's basically a better way of me, breaking it down. You have to be careful sometimes rescuing people from a situation in which they are struggling or they're going through a drought, because people will get their emotions misconstrued. Emotions have a way of misleading people into making them think, oh, I really love this person, I'm really in love with this person. No, you are in love with the fact that they rescued you from a down and out situation. And in many instances too, this is what happens when a woman, going back to the Ciara situation, when a woman finds a man that's willing to pick her up out of her struggle season, she's going to make sure she seals in that deal. meaning that, okay, even though he's willing to take care of another man's child, he's willing to pick up where the last dusty dude left off. Now she's going to make sure she seals in a deal by having her own children from him. Because again, anything she can to recover from that last dust decision that she made. She knows at this point she has to redeem herself. So not only can she not afford to go back to her struggle season, she also has to make sure now that she's in a position in which she no longer has to struggle. She has to seal that deal. She has to lock the next man in. And in many instances, women know in order for them to accomplish this, they have to either A, get pregnant, B, get married, or C, get pregnant and married. Either way, she has to lock that deal in because she wants to avoid going back to that struggle season. And now that she has been blessed with the opportunity of another man willing to, take on the role as the high value janitor, she's going to lock him in. She's going to make sure. And that is what Ciara did. A lot of women like Ciara do it. When they do find a high value janitor, they're going to seal the deal. They're going to make sure they have children, especially if he doesn't already have children, because now she knows she can give him something that another woman hasn't already given him. And if he's willing to marry, she's definitely going to do that because now that secures her future. That now she knows her children that she had from the prior man is good, and the children that she has from the high value janitor man. She knows her security is locked. She know her future is secure now. So I really believe, that is what happens with a lot of women, like in the Ciara's situation, and this is not to say, to knock her as a woman or to knock her as a mother or a wife, but, we got to keep it a buck. A lot of women out here, we're not going to be really transparent and keep it real, but a lot of y'all are more in love with the fact that these men took you from nothing. They elevated you from a dusty sunken place, so now that you have arrived, now you don't feel like you have failed because you was able to recover. You was able to make up and compensate for that poor decision by finding a cleanup man that's willing to help you erase, well, not so much erase, but help you to repair that poor decision. So even though Ciara is sitting in a better position now, she has upgraded, she has leveled up, she has a man, married to a man that has way more millions, has way more notoriety, has way more success, doesn't have multiple children for multiple women, so she doesn't have to compete with his baby mamas and all of that. The truth is, she still has some type of dealings with her past decisions. In other words, she still got to deal with her past decisions. And I've noticed Ciara, like a lot of women, they try to erase the past by moving forward. And in many instances, in order to keep your sanity, sometimes that is the best thing to do. You try to get rid of your past and move forward. That way you're not holding on mentally, keeping yourself hostage to the poor decisions you made. But at the same time, future is still a chapter of her life that she's not going to be able to erase because she has a son from him. And I noticed she has tried to do everything she could to erase him. Erasing future was her way of erasing her mistake. A lot of women try to do this because the first baby daddy or the last dusty baby daddy failed them. He wasn't an active parent. He didn't come through. Now that they found a man that's willing to step up and do everything that they couldn't get the father to do, they just want to dismiss him. They want to erase the dusty baby daddy. They want to get rid of him. They want to act like he never happened. They want to act like he never existed. And the truth is, he still exists. Ciara was trying to erase future. She wanted to get full custody. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe she was trying to get future to sign over his rights. allegedly. She wanted to erase him once she was able to get a better opportunity. Once Russell Wilson stepped up, she wanted to get rid of Future. Getting rid of Future, that would have been her way of counseling out her mistake, overlooking her mistake. She just wanted to start off fresh, ride off into the sunset, have Russell be the father to Future's son, and just exclude him. A lot of women do this because they want to get rid of that mistake they made. They want to compensate for it. Because again, this helps them to not have to take accountability. So they want to erase it. But truth be told, and I'll let any woman know this, this is why it's very imperative that you pick the right type of man to bear a child from. Because even when you find out this dude is a dust particle, he's a deadbeat, or whatever the case is, and you want to move on, you find a better man, you find a better companion that's willing to be there for you, you still got to deal with that man that you had that child from. You're not going to be able to ride off to the sunset and dismiss him, exclude him, unless he's just really that pathetic and he does not care. But in Ciara's case, Future cared. And even though he failed her, or she failed herself by choosing him, by them choosing each other, she wanted to erase Future because that would have been her way of erasing her mistake. And just, not having to acknowledge that poor decision, because and Russell Wilson was willing to help her erase him. He was willing to help her erase him by even insinuating he ain't got to pay child support. I'll do it all. But Future bucked. And you know what? You have some of these dust dudes, even those who not even real fathers, they'll buck you. Just because they see you're trying to regulate them, trying to run things by controlling their child. Even the most pathetic ass, bum ass dudes will block you on the strength of doing that, just because they know that's their child, even if they're not providing for that child, even if they're not active. And the thing about it is, you can't make a man go away no more than a man can't make a woman get an abortion if she doesn't want one. Can't make his trifling baby mama, disappear unless he really got some proof that she's unfit. In other words, you cannot erase the parent of your child, even if you discover that they are negligent, they're not good baby daddy or baby mama material. You cannot erase them, even if your situation has gotten better. Because you got some bum dudes, they're not going to sign over their rights just so you can be at ease and start your new life with your new man that has the money. You got some dudes like this. I know a dude one time, a matter of fact, I had a cousin in my family. He got incarcerated, for selling drugs. And his baby mama moved on with a very successful comedian, which I would not say his name, but he's a very successful comedian. And he has his own radio show and all of that, and he has done way more for my cousin's daughter than my cousin was able to, because my cousin has been incarcerated for every bit of 20, 30 years. However, my cousin still has a relationship with his daughter. And see what that comedian thought. He thought he was going to do to Russell Wilson. He thought he was going to take over and be the provider and completely erase my cousin out the picture from being the father to his daughter. But needless to say, it didn't happen. To this day, my cousin, even being incarcerated, and he should be getting out in, I think, 2025. He's been locked up every bit of 20 something years or whatever. His daughter's a grown woman now, and even though that person has adopted my cousin's daughter, by the time he adopted her, she was already grown. And it still doesn't negate the fact that her father is her father. And to this day, she has a relationship with her biological dad that's incarcerated. And this is on the strength of her stepdad that's a a millionaire comedian who can give her any and everything she wants, he still was not able to replace her biological father. And you have some men like Russell Wilson who think they can do that. They think because they got the money and they got the connections, they got notoriety, they really think they can just rid, you know, their wives or whatever, girlfriends, baby daddies. They think they can just rid of them. And it does not work that way. Especially if that child knows who the father is. And in some cases, no matter how much money you spend on a child, children want to know who their biological parent is. It's just by nature. They want to know who they came from. They want to have some type of dealings with, their biological parent. Unless that biological parent was abusive or totally unfit, then men in Russell Wilson's situation may be able to conquer that. But if that child knows who the father is, of that father, even if he's a bum ass dude, if he's the type of dude that just still wants that leverage, he's not going to sign over the papers anyway, even if he knows the other man is more fit to do something that he's not capable of doing, because it's an ego thing. You know what I mean? So I say all that to say this is the reason why a lot of women are forced to love the high value man, not because of who he is as a person, just based on the strength of all of what he has been willing to sacrifice. She feels like she owes him. Ciara, like many women, she feels like she owes Russell. And at this point, it's like a obligation type of love. She feels like even if she doesn't genuinely, which I'm not saying she does not, because I don't know these people personally out off from a can of paint. But I do know that she definitely knows she has to love Russell. Even if she did it. And like I said, I can't speak for her and say she really does or she don't. I'm sure she loves her husband. But at this point, she's definitely at least feeling obligated to loving him, because he took on a responsibility he really didn't have to. And the fact that he was willing to not only take on the responsibility she had, he was willing to establish a future with her by giving her the privilege to also bear his children. So you have a lot of women that are forced to love their, simp savior or high value janitor, whatever you want to call them. They feel forced. They feel they know they have to, because the man has stepped up and has rescued them from their from the dust sunken place. You know what I mean? So that's basically what it boils down to. So be very mindful, and this go both ways. Same thing with you as men out here. Be mindful picking a woman through her struggle situation, because she may be more in love with you for saving her than actually her genuinely loving you for just who you are. Just the fact that, you're a companion, you're a soulmate. They may be more in love with the fact that you're a savior. So don't get the two mixed up. That's all I'm saying. There's a difference between somebody genuinely loving you and somebody who just genuinely needed you. Just know the difference. That's all I'm saying. So anyway, I know I probably went several directions with this topic. I'm going to be doing a Mocha's triple shot. I think I'm going to be uploading 2 more videos today, because I have not uploaded in a couple of weeks. So you know how I do. If I haven't uploaded anything in a while, I'll go back to back to back, and then you may not see any uploads for like another week or so, depending on all of what I'm doing. So make sure you hit that notification bell, so when I upload my next 2 videos today, you will not miss out. You will be notified, and you'll be able to catch my most recent uploads. Also, before I get ready to shut it down, for anybody who's interested in cable, I'm selling Fire Sticks that already have over 9,000 channels, live stream sports packages, all your premium channels, HBO, Cinemax, VH1, BT, several Lifetime channels. I have all the works. Free pay-per-view events. I have basketball packages, all of that. So you're welcome to email me, those who want to donate. to my movement. You know, again, look out for the small struggle platformers such as myself. We don't always get the recognition and the support that we need. So please make sure if you can't donate that you subscribe, at least share the video. There's so many of us that are being overshadowed and outshined based on the fact that we don't necessarily have the numbers and the support that we should have. So any way you can show a little support and gratitude, I would definitely appreciate it. My Cash App, $DYMONDGYRL. Or again, if you can't donate, just be supportive, just share the video. So anyway, leave y'all comment below. Let me know what y'all think about the high value janitor man. Do you feel like there's a lot of men who have placed themselves in this situation? Do you really feel like some of these women genuinely love these men? Or they genuinely love the fact that these men rescue them when nobody else is willing to step up and do so? So leave y'all opinion below. Let me know what y'all think. Do not exit this video without hitting that thumb up. Please give me that like, y'all. It's free. It's not going to cost you a damn thing to hit that like button. So I will be hollering at y'all soon. It is your girl, your Diva and Knowledge, Lady Mocha, represent Mocha Cafe Day Paris, where I'm always serving you wisdom, knowledge, and spiritual awareness. Y'all be blessed.